Hello everyone who has lost a significant amount of bodily fluids recently, but is kind of okay with that. I am BorderWise, and welcome back to From the Depths. More specifically, a new kind of thing, I guess, which I hope isn't too big a thing, because it's a big thing. This is a campaign commentary. More specifically, I have been wanting to not just test in the designer, but test in an actual campaign playthrough my designs for Godly Neater. Possibly because I have some anxiety about doing it right this time. The one and only failed attempt I had at that difficulty kind of, I don't know, feel bad about it. So I'm over-preparing this time, I guess. And this is coming about because I was going to test that off camera, and then I was just sharing in my Patreon Discord, which I have. Support me on Patreon, please. Times are tough. But they're probably tough for everybody, so I don't know. But anyway, I was sharing my experiences there, saying, oh boy, here we go. Oops, learned this thing. Screenshots and everything. With my first attempt at the Onyx Watch of Oil and Pirates campaign. And someone asked, are you recording this? And I was like, no, wasn't planning to. And a little bit of a chat, and it turns out, like, I don't know, people might be keen to see this. People might be keen to see this little campaign, I guess, preamble to taking on Neater on the hardest difficulty. This little campaign practice, I suppose. So here we are. We're doing it post-commentary because that is significantly easier editing-wise. I can just speed up and chop things up a lot more easily. And thankfully, Of Oil of Pirates is not particularly long. So yeah, it's like this campaign went by very quickly. This is it. The video watching now is the second session I did. It is the second session of my second attempt at this, and don't worry, you didn't miss anything particularly exciting. You missed the opening moves, like moving resource harvesters around, and the only thing that the Onyx once sent at me was a palisade, which got like curb stomped by a ship that I originally made for fun, but I think is actually going to make it into this this fleet, I guess the Metalhead fleet. Also doesn't have a name yet. Technically, the little helicopter that you see shooting the spear doesn't have a name either. Although Ailstorm Gremlin is like absolutely something that I kind of want to call it, because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of a gremlin-y little helicopter. Definitely needs some improvements because my first attempt at this ended very quickly because I only had two of these little guys, and the Onyx Watch sent a halberd at me. So, for those of you who don't know what the halberd is a dedicated hard difficulty anti-air vehicle. It has a rather monster like AP timed HE gun high up on the superstructure, which can shoot in all directions, and it proceeded to clap my helicopters out of the sky immediately. So they are not evasive enough, as it turns out. I probably need to duct tape some more things to them. I can probably stick a lot more custom jets on these little guys, actually, because I have room for more fuel, and I have room for more custom jets. They are going to get more expensive, but it's going to be worth it, because they need to punch above their weight. That's kind of their whole job. And they're doing just fine here. The little Sabot frag, little AP heat right here, just poking this thing to death, slowly but surely. And yeah, so I could not get my, the two little helicopters got destroyed, the one big ship in this fleet, big-ish ship I have, wasn't finished in time, and the halberd destroyed my HQ, and I lost. So, you win some, you lose some. Second attempt went a lot better because, as aforementioned, the palisade showed up, and the first thing I built was my big-ish ship, which again is not named, but I'm thinking about calling it the Sabaton. Because Sabaton is a metal band, and this thing kind of looks, I don't know, it's a tough armored thing and kind of looks like a shoe if you squint at it really hard and close one eye. There goes the spear. So yeah, like, that's a good start. Again, like I said, wasn't really planning on it being in this fleet, because it is just a ship. It is currently called in this campaign the Onyx Watch style ship, because that's what I was going for. I was like, okay, vaguely Onyx Watch A, and I'm pretty pleased with it. It performs better than I thought it would, and also looks better than I thought it would. Like, I went a little bit of the extra mile in decorating it, and I stumbled upon some things I rather like, so it's decent. It has no hit-scan weapons on it, and which means that I do need to add something like that. Probably just a little laser. yeah, just like probably just a little laser of some kind. So yeah, it's good. I like it. So here you are. You see, it's very Onyx watchy. Not perfectly Onyx watchy. Color scheme definitely matched. The black and red is of course like the current fleet colors I'm using for this, which aren't even fleet colors. They're just what it's colored like. And yeah, it's got a lot of seawers. It's got a pretty strong lambs, and yeah, it crams things. The crams also are something I'm experimenting with right now. Is like extra long reload, because Doom crams are not really a feasible investment for playing through Nita, because there's so few things which are actually a cram-worthy target. Because most things aren't that big, and most things, and like a lot of things which are big enough are like really evasive. So like arguably Doom crams are not worth it, but what is kind of worth it is stuff which is like a compromise between a giant as Doom cram and just like a smaller, more manageable one. It's just a smaller cram that fires more slowly. That's kind of the strength of cram, is like, alright, we can't fire fast, but we're not supposed to anyway, so longer reload, stronger shell, that is how we cram, and we just did that. And like kind of the reason I'm calling this a Sabaton, you'll see the letters on it like 7734, which is like, if you're like typing on an old school calculator, 7734, turn that upside down, that looks kind of like hell. So yeah, that is like, or like if it's more digital, it looks like hell. And that's kind of, that's actually a Sabaton song, one of my personal favorite ones. It's like, it's not a great song, it's just kind of got a good tune to it. It's like, doesn't really mean anything, it's just vaguely about metal. And, yeah, I just like that song, and it's just like, I don't know, it kind of fits. Kind of fits the theme of this, is just less this tanky thing. And yeah, so the other thing I'm experimenting with this little campaign playthrough is like, we've got our little front-sider, the Ailstorm Gremlin, and we've got our Sabaton. I guess you'd call it a cruiser, maybe like a small battleship, because remember, like, ship designations is more role than anything else. If it's supposed to take a beating, then it's a battleship, and if it's supposed to like be an attack helicopter, that's what it is, even if it's bigger than the battleship, I guess. But the other thing I'm experimenting with, you'll see this thing here is just called the support vehicle. It's everything in one. So it is a spy plane, it is a resource harvester, it's a cargo craft, all in one. The only problem it had with this particular campaign is that it didn't move fast enough, which I have since fixed. And we're fighting, I believe this is a Basilica. I believe that's what its name is, I could be wrong. No, it's a Parapet, my bad. And so this fight was very promising, because, firstly, the Sabaton is proving that the fact that, like, you know, it can have something hovering straight over it and it can kind of tank it just with its active defenses, because, like, it's got 4 Seawiz guns, and it's got that nice juicy lambs right there, and I don't think the Parapet manages to land a single shot on it. Things like this are a real problem for ships, because they just hover over the top of you, shoot straight down to the deck armor, and just, your ship can't get a good broadside on it because it's just, the angle is bad. The angle is just non-stop bad, and I missed that thing exploding. Unfortunate. And there, that cram did what cram things do, which is very nice. Very, very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Honestly, layering, this is something that I really can highly recommend, is just kind of layering active defense. So you don't just have Seawiz, you don't just have lambs, you don't just have interceptors, you have all of them, because a small amount of all of them is a lot better than just going ham on just one of them, because they all have different strengths and weaknesses, are all good at dealing with different... That's a black hole in the sky, don't worry about it. But they all kind of like complement each other in a way that just one big one of any of them just wouldn't do. And that is, it just occurred to me that, like with the failed battlecruiser, battleship, capital ship type thing in the Pale Fleet, the Avalanche, if you've seen my post-action report of the Pale Fleet, the part 2, I talk about the Avalanche. It's the video which has Captain Picard face-palming in the thumbnail. Rather pleased with that. But yeah, so that thing had the problem of, like, it went too heavy on Seawiz and wasn't really heavy enough on laser munition defense or anything like that. If I was going to rebuild the Avalanche, it would be really leaning into the whole, like, glass cannon thing a lot more, and more Alpha Strike-y, because, like, honestly, if I was going to rebuild the Avalanche, I might just go nuts on the diff guns, honestly, so it gets off just one massive volley of diff guns, and then, like, you know, it just kind of sits and thinks about what it's done for a while, honestly. Something like that. So, yeah, that's a thought right there, I guess. So, I should mention that I'm probably going to change the shells on the Sabaton, the Seawiz shells, because currently that's about half gunpowder, half HE, just half gunpowder, half HE, with an armor-piercing head, which actually does decently well. Like, any shell's good enough if you spam it enough, and, like, you can't go wrong with just a little bit of extra AP. But I think I am going to swap out more of those HE rounds. Honestly, probably going to swap it out for, like, AP Heat. So just, like, mostly solid bodies, or, like, stabilizer fins to make them very accurate. Because if you stack stabilizer fins with traces, they basically never miss, like, assuming the target is moving nice and predictably. And then the parapet falls on the drink and disintegrates, and that's a victory for us. So yeah, that's jolly, jolly, jolly good. We like that. We like that a lot. Battle finished. So there weren't actually that many fights in this particular campaign, because I know from experience with these mini campaigns is that you've got to move fast. You've got to get out there, you've got to capture resource zones. In particular, you've got to mess with the enemy like supplies. The Onyx Watch campaign in particular is like the fact that you can get to, like, you can kill the Onyx throne, like, without it having to go through all their resource zones is kind of, I don't know, feels a little bit, how would you describe that? I don't know. Maybe it should be shuffled around a bit, I don't know. Maybe come more from the east or something. I digress. These campaigns, I think, are supposed to be, like, more for practice, so you can practice fighting each individual faction without having to restart your damn campaign every time. So yeah, we're just bullying another foundry right here. Very happy that, like, the Sabaton can just kind of take this on and not take a single scratch. No kill, quite like overkill. So yeah, also really liking the red traces so far. This is not just a combat effectiveness trial. This is also an aesthetics trial. It's like, do I like how these look? And the answer is yes, I love it. I love how these things look. All those long red traces, I think, are the absolute bee's knees. And particularly with the Sabaton, what I've tried to get back to is not over-armor in my craft, because I go back and forth on how heavy the armor should be. Particularly because when you're fighting Nita, it's kind of overkill to have like 20 meters of armor. You're going to end up with something just too expensive, and you're going to get kind of like outplayed by Nita craft, which have to be really efficient in terms of volume. Those of them which aren't completely outdated. Oh yeah, so I'm recording this after the whole Bulwark versus the Grey Talons video has gone up, and I gotta say, I'm gonna have my hands full with the Grey Talons. Especially like in trying to get Bulwark to like do what she's supposed to do, I guess. Also, I'm not sure how that series is gonna go. I have ideas. I definitely have ideas. But yeah, so it's like one thing I might want to do with like building this fleet is like take existing Nita craft. It might actually be a fun theme, actually, to kind of like, alright, so we're going to have vehicles that are almost like mirror versions of like the Nita faction. So the Sabaton is kind of inspired by an Onyx Watch craft. Should try like a kind of, I don't know, a Grey Talons type thing. That's me looking at the AI of this thing being like, this is where it's got to hit. So yeah, Scarlet Dawn style craft, all that kind of thing, but like, yeah. Not sure. Interestingly, the Sabaton, like I said, made that for fun, wasn't really wanting to use it as part of the fleet, but like I like its vibe, if nothing else. It's not an especially meta thing, it's just got like, I don't know, it's got crams, it's got Seawiz, it's got a lambs on it, it's like, I don't know, it's a decent ship. I don't think it's on par with the Icicle in terms of like general purpose utility, but then again, like the Icicle is a hard act to follow. So yeah. What are we gonna do there? I do certainly need to build an air superiority fighter, and I need to make one that is a lot smaller and cheaper than the snowboarder, because that thing, it was good, but it was also kind of expensive and trying to do too many things at once. So there is that. So yeah, that's me trying to figure out control groups a little bit. Not control groups, like just trade groups and stuff like that. So yeah. Well, what are we gonna do here? So we got our supply fleet, we got our trade fleet, we got our harvesters. All of these are the same vehicle. Just for the, I don't know, kind of to make it logistically easier. Just to make it so it's like, alright, that's just the thing we use. And yes, it does mean each one is more expensive, but it also means we have lots of spares. And yeah, so like, I should really show off that thing. Like, certainly when I start the actual proper playthrough itself, you'll see these things. You'll see these things, I'll show them off at least once. And I'm gonna try and do the thing of like, only showing off the vehicle if they appear in the campaign episode itself. Because in Steel Sovereigns, there was the unfortunate thing I kept showing off in the intro to the vehicle, saying like, this is the such and such. I built it because such and such reasons. And then it would like at least not show up in the episode itself, or it would never show up at all in the case of the Avalanche. So yeah. Alright, so this is where we're taking on the Onyx throne itself. We're gonna have 2 Sabatons for that, or Onyx watch vehicle. If people have reckon they have better name suggestions for these 2 craft, please, I would love to hear them. I think it would be actually kind of fun in playing through Nita on the hardest difficulty, or at least the hardest, I guess it's the location, really, when starting in the middle. Like, you know, you can have the Sabatons off to the south fighting off the Onyx Watch and Deepwater Guard, and you can have other things, like, on each different front. I am thinking that against, especially against godly submarines, like especially Steel Striders, and especially Twin Guard, I am going to have... I was experimenting with, like, basically having an all-in-one bomber, so something not dissimilar to the Icewind, or Ice Current, used in Steel Sovereignty, except it's got laser-guided missiles, and if there's a particularly large, scary submarine, it will spawn nuclear torpedoes at them. So I think that that'll be pretty good. And that way it's nice and conditional, you know. So it's like, yeah, I could even set it up with ACB, so it's like, alright, spawn things off the blueprint spawner only if they're above a certain size or below a certain attitude. Attitude? Altitude. So yeah, that's my plan. Let me know what you think of that, because my understanding is that people don't like cheesy stuff. People don't really like to see nuke spawners, people don't really like to see spacecraft, people don't really like to see submarines too much, but they are absolutely fine with cheese on cheese deliciousness. Like, you have a double cheese sandwich. It's either double cheese or no cheese, please and thank you. So I'm totally fine with like using amphibious nukes to like take on submarines and that kind of thing, because I have been experimenting. In fact, using an older bomber, a magnet bomber, as kind of a template. And it flies around, spawns amphibious nukes, and the thing can solo basically any kind of submarine in Niter, which is very, very useful. And really gives me an option to deal with one particular thing that I'm really scared of, which is the Angel Shock. And also that Twin Guard thing, which is like kind of that, but worse, honestly. I forget, what the hell was it? I can literally pull it up on my notes here. I'm gonna pull this up on my notes. I can literally see it. It is the... what is it? It's the Lechesm, I think. That, yep, that's the one. That's the submarine. I hate that thing. It actually occurred to me, like, why I kind of, like, dislike the Twin Guard. I mean, there's a number of reasons. They are by far the most cheesy faction. Or at least they feel the most cheesy, rather. But it's also because this is a physics-based game. Yes, the physics is really wonky. And the Twin Guard just kind of, like, break the laws of physics in so many ways. Like, tractor beams mean that you could effectively levitate a far heavier, like, all-around vehicle than you could otherwise. Like, you could literally have a tiny little thing and have it levitating a giant gun turret, and that's absolutely fandabby-dozy, and that's, like, almost an exploit, it feels like. And then there's the repair spam, and then there's, like, the sub-object shields, which admittedly I think only the Gravitas uses. So yeah, like, it just feels not right. I personally think, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this, is what do you think about tractor beams actually needing to use power, and needing more power to hold something heavier? And also, the mass of whatever they're holding, like, adding to the vehicle's mass, so whatever custom jets or whatever have to work harder to keep both the mothership and the sub-vehicle up. I think that would be more fair, because otherwise it's like, it's basically a physics glitch. And like, that's, as far as I'm concerned, like, it's the same kind of taste in the mouth as like spin block clipping, you know? So yeah, let me know if you agree, disagree about that, because like, it would require damn near every Twin God craft and a whole bunch of Scarlet Dawn craft be like reworked, but honestly, like, I don't know, I think that'd be more satisfying to fight, because they wouldn't be as like, it wouldn't feel like they're cheating. And yes, I know they're technically not cheating, because the player can do that too, but like, you know, doesn't mean it feels good, doesn't mean it's fun. I don't know. It's just like, yeah, I'd like, if you're fighting something, like, you want it to be like, you don't want to be fighting something that's like, oh, I built this gorgeous thing that, like, mostly follows the laws of physics, and then the gravitas shows up. It's just a whole bunch of things inexplicably hovering around each other, like, you know, like a biblically accurate angel, like, exploded and was turned into metal, but it was being put back together again. Sorry, a little drink break. Drink break. So you might have noticed that the Onyx throne takes like about a bazillion years to finish off, and this is one of the reasons why it's a damn good idea to like test your vehicles like in the campaign itself, because the Onyx throne, and there's a lot of long fights like this when you play Neater or any campaign really. You better have material efficient engines or stuff like that. And the Sabaton kind of doesn't. It uses injector engines. However, most of its power requirements is its lambs, which are not always firing, which means it's not constantly using its engines to like full power usage, which weirdly enough makes it save on materials like quite a lot. And yeah, like, I don't know, what else? There's kind of a hole in the clouds right there. I do also like the way the traces bounce off things. I think it's really cool. But yeah, it's like, I need to tweak those shells. Like, hold on. What else? I have notes here. I should probably scribble on them. Let's see here. Let's see. More ship, more fast and strong. Change shells. So let's see, the damage there. So yeah, this is the point where I realize, oh, right. This thing has some terrain proofing, but not enough. And also, if you're wondering about that bulge in the front of the Sabaton, like, that is an extra propeller. I thought to myself, what can we stick in the wave breaker of a proper ship-like ship thing? You could stick extra propellers in there, nothing's stopping you. Because if you're not going to make something like super, like, wedgy and streamlined, you just stick more props on it. So, change shells, little note here. And what would be next? Probably lightning hoods or white flares is the testing, which means sticking smoke on this, but I also want to build another, I guess another, like, another vehicle to, like, bring along for that, because that'll be pretty good. I don't think our cram friend is going to be super good against white flare or lightning hood craft, because, you know, the, like, I don't know, the cram is not going to do well. The lambs is going to help if someone's shooting, like, you know, sandblasters or lasers at you, so gonna need something else. I actually do have a list, a secret little spreadsheet of things I want to make for our campaign here, and let me pull it up for you. It's somewhere here. Where was it? Where am I? Here we are. Godly Neater planning. So there's, I should probably also read out the rules that I'm wanting to stick to. So it's like, altitude limit is 800 meters, which, yes, I know, that's technically in space. But that, anything flying at that height can still be seen from sea level, so it's not out of sight completely. And I'm going to try not to make anything fly that high, like, consistently. Apart from the support aircraft, because, like, you know, they're out of play and it doesn't matter. Block limit, about 45,000. I'm thinking about turning that down to just like 30,000 to match the Neater vehicles. Want to name vehicles and fleets individually, so I'll like call each individual one. I'll probably name them after patrons, honestly, because that's like, that'll be cool. Patrons or cool people, or both. Probably patrons. That is a Patreon reward, by the way, starting at the 2nd tier. That's my second shout-out. And limit on specific vehicles. I think that was a community suggestion back in the day. Me asking, like, what would you want to see? How would you like to see a campaign get played? And I guess, like, you don't want to spam the same vehicles over and over, which is probably where the Sabaton is actually quite handy, because, like, you know, it's not the most meta thing in the entire world. It does okay, and it's just fun to see it hold the line against the Onyx watch and that kind of thing. Battles max block count up to 100k. I did not do that this time because I wanted to just get it done and test things. But moving forward, I'll try and remember my own damn rules. And minimal management, craft must do as they do. And like, I have been managing that in this little playtest because they really have just been doing what they do best. Also, it did occur to me later, after this fight, that I could have just held the Sabatons in place because the Onyx Throne, like, they're not really fast enough to dodge cramshells reliably, and their active defense is good enough that the Onyx Throne basically can't touch them, so that's fine. And yeah, so as for what I've built so far, so our small... One thing I did want is like, oh, I just realized that this is in the wrong side. So, I originally wanted a small, fast, like, APS, like, canoe type thing, and I did build one, and I wasn't happy with it. It underperformed for what I wanted it to do. So, I built the Elstral Gremlin instead, our little helicopter friend, because flying craft, like, are just so much more evasive and, like, punch above their weight so much better than little ships do. So, yeah, that's basically that. Then I wanted a kind of like sequel to the Icicle, which I guess the Sabaton kind of is, except it's not quite as fast. It is more tanky. It does have a much better lambs on it, that's for sure. And of course, we need a sequel to Gary, and we need. I actually want to build a battle carrier because like I love the idea of like a battleship, but also it spawns in like other things as well. I think that'd be pretty good. So yeah, that would be like teamwork makes the dream work. It's just you have this front-siding battleshipy thing, but like has a squad of planes with it. I think it'd be pretty dope. And yeah, we win. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Fall of the Onyx Throne. Oil barons were slowly seen chugging away. Now these oil-rich waters belong to you, and none are left to challenge your claim. And that's our first successful test of our new fleet. The two things, well, the three things technically that we have in it so far. They do okay against the Onyx Watch, but then again, Onyx Watch is like second weakest faction. So there's going to be more improvements done, and thanks to this test, I know what to do. I know what improvements need to happen. So yeah, there is that. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Support me on Patreon or YouTube membership if you like. It really helps, and there's fun perks in it for you. Like at the lowest tier, access to a Patreon exclusive Discord. At the middle tier, like I said before, like you'll get random shoutouts, you'll get like AI mainframes and ships named after you and that kind of thing. I'm gonna try and be better about that. I keep forgetting because I'm forgetful. And at the highest tier, I'll build stuff or draw stuff for you once a month. It's a pretty cool perk. Do check out my other channels as well. The super fun we're having over on the other gaming channel, over on Twitch, with From the Depth streams, gaming streams, and art streams. And so I'd love to see you there. We all would. More the merrier. Alright. All of you have a wonderful day. Good luck with your own campaigns if you're playing one right now. Otherwise, happy building. I'll see you next time. Farewell.